All right, so a lot of you know I recently discovered 60. So as you guys already know, we recently discovered India in Pixels, a YouTube channel that is dedicated towards educating people about topics that are really hard to explain or really hard to find evidence for or research on. And they're interesting stuff. Like, it's not like boring stuff, it's interesting stuff purely for educational purposes. I want to check out this video that you guys have requested a lot, which is 16 Indian philosophies explained like strategies in a game. A brilliant way to explain philosophy, I feel.
Hello, Ashish here. So ever since I made the last Marathi video, something in me has like changed. I don't know मैं कैसे explain करूँ, but it's like my inner खप्पड़पना has been unlocked.
Now I have to watch the Marathi video.
Offending people left and right.
Pat Cummins Cultist. First of all, great name. Also, excellent choice of emojis. I respect you, and I respect you also. Truth is, Indian engineers are not good at engineering, but they claim to be good at everything else. This dumbass thinks humanities simply means history, geography, civics, and the ability to read. P.S. I'm an engineer too, and this guy is an embarrassment for all of us. Oh my god, bro. तेरे को देख के तो नहीं लगता love. Wait, what's going on? Please don't bark here. I'm gonna bark here.
Video. Something in me has like changed. I don't know मैं कैसे explain करूँ, but it's like my inner खप्पड़पना has been unlocked, and I'm pretty much offending people left and right.
Engineers in India are doing everything except for engineering. This is why India imports all of its military track. Except as humanities. 2 minutes of science for all the failed engineers of this nation. So इसका tweet है जो अब मैं पढ़ने वाला हूँ, which I should have read first. Can do humanities better than humanities students can do humanities. Oh my god, people just get triggered over anything, yaar. Oh, I'm so triggered for this guy right now. Can you not understand humor? Can you not understand something that's like non-serious, not that serious? What is this response, bro? Are you a robot? Do you have no sense of nuance? Do you have no gray area in your head? The brain is supposed to be made of gray matter. Where is yours? Like, why would you respond to something like this with this? That's crazy. Choose engineering तो ढंग से हो नहीं रही. Humanities का क्या घंटा पढ़ोगे? It's not that serious, brother. Engineers do not have critical thoughts. Hope that helps. That's a good one. I'll give her points. Maya kind of nailed it there. This is pretty good. This account needs to go. I've been tolerating it. तेरे को देख के तो लगता नहीं love. Whole channel made of misappropriating research. Misinformed takes me. Bengalis are the French of India, but come holds more value than someone who spends it. Nuance is lost on them. Listen, when I watched his video on Hindi and Urdu, there were a lot of things जिस पे मैं trigger हो सकता था. Right? But I understand nuance. I understand the point he's making is not a solid patthar ki lakeer scientific method proven. He has a hunch. He has a vibe that he's feeling. It's his opinion, his personal research के base पे इसका अपना एक opinion form हुआ है जिसको fact के करीब है. मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि वो fact है या नहीं है. Sure, it's based on some research, right? So it could be a fact. It's not scientifically proven, but there's evidence for it that he found and he's presenting it. So just take everything you see or hear with a grain of salt. And it's easier said than done. I'm a victim of getting triggered a lot also. I get it. But I've learned my lesson. This is that meme situation where मैं already James Franco की जगह खड़ा हूँ, फांसी का बंदा लगा हुआ है, and he comes and I say, first time, huh? Bro, I've been living this life for so many years. You don't even know. Stick to the customer service and tech support while you can, buddy. AI is soon going to, oh my god, bro. Lowest point of, oh my god, humanity is just making graphs on Twitter, lol. Oh, the irony. Everybody's pissed at you, bro. Wow.
Yeah, so in this sassy IIP zone, I thought of making a meme. What if Indian philosophies were like strategies in a game?
Oh my god, he
kind of
doubled
blew
down.
up on the internet. A lot of you also asked me to make a detailed video about it. So this is that video. Acha, before we dive right into the heart of it all, let's take a step back and think about what is Indian philosophy in general. You must have heard that India is a land of seekers, not a land of believers. Because in desh mein, we have always sought for something.
See, this is why I know he's a wrong number. This Sadhguru guy is that's such an obvious lie. And he's trying to find a higher meaning in it. No. The people you think are believers are also actually seekers because they're seeking, nirvana or whatever he wants to put the twist on. But it is an absurd thing to say with no context. India is definitely the land of believers. It is literally one of the most religious countries in the world. I'm not saying it's just the religion. Any belief you hold. If it's science, then they believe in the science. They're not just halfway in.
Sought for what exactly? Well, the usual fun stuff. ways to reduce suffering, finding the meaning of life, attain enlightenment. Society जब
Sure.
affluent हो जाती है, then it climbs up the Maslow's pyramid, and we move to doing all this deep shit about life and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And because
I love where he's going with it.
Indian civilization, had 25% of the world's GDP, it had enough time and energy to experiment with all the deeper questions of life. And
Yeah,
जितने लोग
makes
थे
sense.
उतने approaches to life, उतने ही strategies to plan how life should be. काफी कुछ like playing a game of PUBG, BGMI, sorry. Different players have different strategies to win. Some prefer close range combat while others like sniping from a distance. आप defensively भी खेल सकते हो या you can drop into Pochinki and wage an all-out war. The goal is the same, to emerge victorious, but the paths to get there are multiple. So there is a natural analogy to how you play a game and how you live your life. Okay, another disclaimer, all of this isn't good fun, so don't take it too seriously. If you're easily offended, maybe grab like a chai or something and come back when you're feeling a little more chill, alright? Chalo, let's start with the first.
Oh, I want to see all of them, but he's gonna get to them. But yeah, he didn't go where I was expecting him to go with it. Ke, that was a different time. Now, seeking ability, aam aadmi ki wo वैसी नहीं रही है, because India is going back on that level, and hopefully you'll get there again, but not right now.
First category, the easy mode. This is the easy mode, where we are just playing the game casually. The strategies in this mode are beginner friendly, matlab they are easy to understand and get started with, but that does not mean that they are necessarily easy to master. That is also why they are the most popular of all the strategies in this chart. Gaming terms में बोलूँ तो it is tough to get a high score using these strategies, but game के मजे आप काफी ले सकते हो. So let's start with the first strategy, Bhakti. Bhakti is the most democratic
पहली वाली
strategy
सबसे
out there.
triggering है
The
बहुत सारे
Sanskrit
लोगों
word
के
for
लिए.
devotion, Bhakti is all about surrendering yourself to the game creator. In Bhakti, you use your emotions to please the creator, worship the creator, and basically dedicate yourself to him, hoping that along the path he will be impressed with your devotion and also maybe help you out. Bhakti strategy mein you don't imagine God as some mysterious abstract force in the sky. Instead, you give him a form, often an idol or an image. And not just that, you see him like a person, like a friend, a child, a master, or a lover. You basically humanize the creator. Now, if you're not the emotional kind, you might find all of this kind of sweet, but also a little bit cringy. I mean, these guys are playing the game more from their hearts than their minds. You could also say that
What's
since
wrong with
Bhakti
that,
folks primarily operate through emotion, noob Bhakti players can easily get corrupted. They might end up following all sorts of cults, becoming excessively obsessed, or even getting lost in the theatrics of it all, and also get exploited in the process. But well, because of its raw appeal, Bhakti is incredibly popular, and not just in India, but everywhere.
Monotheist
You could
religions
also say
especially,
that
bro.
Bhakti is like the gateway drug of religion.
Solid
It's
Bhakti.
often the first step that people take towards exploring their spiritual side. Whether you're a casual player or a hardcore devotee, Bhakti offers a way to connect with the divine on a very deeply personal level.
That was a fucking
Moving
powerful
on,
visual.
the Puran strategy. The Puran players are the second most popular players of the
But
game.
I want to read, bro. Role players as legendary top players bore other players with your fan fictions, especially those who are not interested.
Moving on, the Puran strategy. The Puran players are the second most popular players of the game. Puran or Purana, however you want to pronounce it, literally means old or ancient stories. If you are a Purana player, you are basically the ultimate lore nerd of the game. You know everything about the game's mythology, the stories of the top players, the many gods and demons, heroes, side heroes, all of that. Technically, the Purans are the collection of 18 major texts, each focusing on different aspects of the game lore. Some, like the Bhagavad Puran, are all about the avatars of Vishnu, which are also popular among the Bhakti players.
Bhagavata Puranam starts where Mahabharatam ends. It elaborates about the end of Mahabharatam and its aftermath. It talks about the history of Parikshit Maharaja, start of Kali Yugam and how it would unfold. Bhagavata Puranam also elaborates the account of the conversation between Uddhava and Vidura.
Others, like the Shiv Puran, are a little more abstract and delve into the mysteries of the universe.
Shiva Puranam illustrates the origins of Shiva in the form of Agni Stambha.
Who's this guy speaking in the back?
Between Sri Mahavishnu and Brahma. It talks about the sacred rituals of Shivalingam. It talks about the Shiva Tattvam, the philosophy of Shiva.
Then there's the Skand Puran, the longest Puran actually, which is about Kartikeya, the son of Shiva and Parvati.
Skanda Puranam. It is the largest of all the 18 Puranas. Almost every sacred place in Bharat has
I need a lot of context to understand what they're
But
talking
the
about right
Purans
now.
aren't a bunch of dusty old stories only.
Okay,
They're
they're
also
just a
packed with
bunch of
practical
dusty
advice
old
and
stories.
spiritual wisdom. They teach players about enlightenment, the nature of karma, reincarnation, all of
Nice.
which help you level up in the game. Puran shouldn't be confused with Itihas, although they are often mentioned together side by
History
side.
and
And
awareness is
Purans and
different.
Itihas together are considered to be the fifth Veda or Ved. Fifth Ved. For players who love to LARP or live action roleplay or imagine themselves as the great heroes, the Purans and Itihas offer a wealth of inspiration. These epic tales provide a framework for understanding the world and your place in it, and enact yourself as Maryada Purushottam Ram or Dharma Pitama Bhishma or the clever Shakuni or the strong Bhim. So, if you're ready to geek out on some ancient Indian lore, grab a copy of your favorite Puran and dive in. Just be warned,
Okay, I see.
you
I
might
get
end
it
up
now.
spending
I get
more
it.
time reading than actually playing the game. And if you don't understand the symbolism, you might take things literally and then be confused with all the conspiracy But hey, that's the life of a true Puran fan. Next, we move to the Smartha strategy, or as an Australian
Can't decide on a main, worship all major deities, become the ultimate jack of all trades, master of none. Oh,
would
I
say
see.
Smara, because it claims to be the smartest strategy. The Smartha strategy is the jack of all trades strategy. It is all about bringing together the best bits of Hinduism into one package. The founder of Smarthaism was Adi Shankaracharya ji, who was kinda like the Steve Jobs of Hinduism. He looked at the different philosophies and practices spread all over India, and he thought to himself, hey, we can simplify this for everyone. So he took the Vedanta philosophy, mixed in a bit of yoga, and then blended it all with a chutki of bhakti traditions, and thus was born a streamlined, user-friendly version of Hinduism that anyone could get into. The Smarthas are known for their Panchayatna Puja, which is kind of like having an all-star team of deities. You have got Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti, Surya, and Ganesha. In some Smartha tradition, there is even a sixth abstract and impersonal deity to represent the ultimate reality. And if you are in South India, you might see even Kartikeya join the party too. But here's the thing, Smarthas believe that all these deities...
It's tough to really understand what's going on because I have no idea what all these deities are, who they are, what their names are. And he just talks about them so casually because, you know, he's expecting people who are looking at this, watching this video, know the context. Context is very important to understand the intensity or the depth of what he's saying. But we're gonna soldier on. There's more to this, right? You guys have requested it, there must be something to it.
These are just different ways to connect with Paramatma. It's like having multiple paths leading to the same destination. You can choose one that resonates with you the most, but ultimately they all lead to the same place. Today, most Hindus, including you, have a bit of Smarthaism in you, even if you don't realize it. आपके घर में जब पूजा होता है, then you see multiple gods and goddesses के मूर्तिस. They all come from the efforts of Adi Shankaracharya ji. Next on Karma Yoga.
Support
Karma
rules. I love these little
Shankaracharya
descriptions.
ji.
They help me a lot to understand. They support roles and help out newbies earn good karma points to unlock social roles and entry points.
Next
Okay.
on Karma Yoga. Karma yogis are the unsung heroes of the spiritual world. They are like the best supporting actors who sadly never get an award for it. Karma yoga is all about doing your duty without making a fuss about it or without expecting any kind of rewards. It's the ultimate just do it mentality. As we all know, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna famously tells Arjun,
Yo, Parth, you've got a job to do, my man. Just do it, bruh. Just do it.
Alright, there's a slight chance that Krishna didn't say that, but well, you get the vibe, right? Karma Yoga is one of the 4 main paths to enlightenment in Hinduism. It's often seen as the easiest path because it does not require any special skills or knowledge. All you need is a willingness to work hard and have a sense of duty. Indians
Also, I feel like it doesn't require greed, and greed isn't easy, guys. Greed is heavy on you. Greed lays heavy on the greedy, and you know it's hard work to satisfy that lust for greed. So yeah.
have long been karma yogis, I think. At a time when some countries would resort to violence and destroy their culture, our parents and grandparents were masters at showing up to work every single day and putting in the hours no matter how tedious the job was.
Yep.
Like seriously,
They
can
died
you
on their
imagine
jobs.
working a single job for 30 years? They had a knack for accepting whatever life threw at them with a smile, hoping to be good parents for us. In a way,
Karmi
this
yoga.
attitude has helped India weather many storms and emerge stronger today. However, it's also important to remember that being a karma yogi does not mean to be a pushover. Sometimes all that selfless action can lead to people taking
True.
advantage of your good
True.
nature. And if you're not careful, you might find yourself stuck in a dead-end job or a stagnant situation. And because you are so detached from the end results, there is less incentive for you to innovate. I feel sometimes you do need obsession and attachment to give your 100%. But well, those are just my thoughts. Who am I to argue with Krishna? So yeah guys, that
Sheesh.
concludes our easy tier. Before we move on to the next tier, guys, if you have been liking this video, please do like and hit the subscribe
So
button.
this was the easy tier. उसके बाद क्या थे? Advanced tier, फिर normal tier, उसके बाद expert tier आएगा. Is there an S tier at the end? That would be
It
nice.
really means a lot. And yes, if you like this poster and would like to hang it on your wall to have
There it is. Hard mode hai. That's the hard mode tier, then the hacker mode, and then advanced mode. Okay, advanced mode last में आ रहा. Okay.
conversation starter with your friends, you can find a link in the description
This
box
is
below.
so much.
Chaliye, let's now move on to the
In its own way, it's actually very fun to be born in a place like that, which has like so much variety in belief systems, right? I was born in a place जहाँ पे literally एक pathway था सीधा straight. And that's why a lot of the people, if they're lucky enough to escape the matrix, they become rebels and they learn, they explore.
hard mode. These strategies are definitely not for the beginners. They require us to carefully
They're Indian,
understand a
not for the
new
beginners.
framework to look at reality. And all these strategies involve
I'm just gonna read them right now. Spend hours arguing with other players about the game's rules and mechanics. Write a novel-length guide that no one will read. Oh my god, bro. Vashishka. If self-karma thresholds, self-restart, self-karma. Okay. Analyze the game's code down to the last atom. Get so caught up in the details that you forget to actually play. Okay. Samkhya. Min-max your character by balancing player traits. Spend more time customizing your build than actually playing. God, I've been there. In actual games, not in life. Maybe in life too. That's gonna require a lot of deep thinking to figure out आप life में कहाँ पे हैं इस वक्त, कौन से mode पे खेल रहे हैं. Study the game's ancient texts and rituals, perform elaborate in-game ceremonies for massive XP boosts.
breaking
Okay.
down reality into smaller fundamental components. This is kinda like looking under the game and tinkering directly with the code yourself. You won't find many casual gamers talking about these strategies at parties, but the true geeks, the ones who are hardcore nerds about the Vedas and the Upanishads, will find a way to these strategies. Alright, let's begin. Nyaya. Nyaya is all
Nyaya.
about logic and epistemology, the study of truth. It's like Sherlock Holmes of Hindu philosophy, using deductive reasoning to solve the mysteries of the universe. Nyaya players have an algorithm developed to infer at universal truths, the nature of knowledge, and even the existence of God. Nyaya players were the first to develop logical axioms like inference. For example, all humans are mortal, Shah Rukh Khan is a human, and therefore Shah Rukh Khan is a mortal. This kind of way of thinking was the innovation of the Nyaya people. So you can imagine the Nyaya players as the detective debaters of the Hindu world. Next
Okay.
is Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika is the atomic theory of Hindu philosophy. If Nyaya deals with epistemology, Vaisheshika deals with ontology. Rather than an abstract truth, Vaisheshika looks at the physical existence of reality.
facts,
It breaks
the
down
facts of
reality
life.
into its smallest components, which it calls Paramanu. And then Vaisheshika players try to understand how these Paramanus combine to create the world that we experience. It's kinda like playing a philosophical Minecraft, building up complex structures with simple building blocks. Vaisheshikas have also come up with the concept of new entities forming from the combination of basic entities, which they call Samyog. Kinda like how in Minecraft combining a stick and a coal gives us a torch. Vaisheshikas believe that everything in the world is built with such combination of building blocks like Dravya, Gun, Karm, Samanya, Vishesh, and
Extremely
Samkhya.
pixelated
Next in
picture,
line
but
is
okay.
Sankhya. Sankhya is the dualistic philosophy that sees the world as an interplay between Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is consciousness and Prakriti is matter. Sankhyas believe that Prakriti is made up of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, which are the three abstract qualities out of which everything is made up of. Prakriti is drawn to Purusha like iron to magnet, and from this interaction of Purusha and Prakriti, Buddhi or intelligence is created. From this intelligence, Ahankar or identity emerges, and then from this Ahankar, 23 tattvas come into existence. Sankhyas believe that the world is real and cause and effect are tied together in one unit. Excellent description.
No wonder this is such an ancient text, bro. Because look at the level of detail of understanding our existence that is present in this whole thing that we call religion. But it's not religion, bro. It's too big to be called a religion, I feel like. That's crazy. Like look at just looking at this little tiny part of the whole thing, just a tree of trying to explain these little regular things that we just live and breathe every day, but we don't think about it because we're not on those, अभी हम seeker level पे पहुंचते ही नहीं बहुत सारे लोग तो Maslow के hierarchy में हम लोग नीचे ही रहते हैं बहुत. So and people think that they've reached the top or number 4 or number 3 even. It's not easy to get there, and that's what you get. This is true enlightened people looking for answers, and this is the answers they've found in our long thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of years of history. And these are the secrets, man. These are the results. It's just such good categorization, such good explanations back then when there were no test tubes, there was no DNA, there was no colliders. We didn't know. We didn't have proof. Maybe they did. Maybe they had ways of doing it and seeing it.
Of the game mechanics, I must say. Finally comes Mimamsa. Mimamsa folks are the most conservative intellectuals of this tier. They focus a lot on Vedic interpretation. It's all about understanding the deeper meaning behind the rituals and the hymns of the Vedas. Mimamsa philosophers have developed complex rules of interpretation, kind of like a secret code for unlocking the wisdom of the ancient rituals in the Vedas. So yeah, there you have it, the hardcore mode of Hindu philosophy. These strategies may not be for everyone,
like
but for
Pandits
those who are
mostly,
willing
right?
to put in the work and the effort and the time, this tier offers a deep and rewarding path to understanding the nature of reality.
I don't know why bro keeps pronouncing it tire. I don't get it. In this day and age, how do you not know how it's pronounced? Like, it's not a niche word. It's a commonly used word. So I don't know why he's pronouncing it that way.
Chaliye, let's now move on.
Oh, the matrix is broken. Hacker mode is on.
Welcome to the hacker mode. Look who decided to venture into the dark underbelly of Indian philosophy.
Rage quit the game's main storyline, realizing it's just an endless grind. Uninstall and request a refund. Woo! Jainism. Attempt the ultimate pacifist run, taking no kill to the extreme. Avoid harming even a pixel ad. Carry no weapon, no harm, no NPC. Charvak. Ignore the game's objectives and just YOLO it. Speedrun straight through the end game, skipping all the cutscenes and dialogues. Okay. Ajivika. Discover the keyboard was never plugged in. Realize the game is in autoplay mode. Go AFK.
The hacker mode.
This is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be the fun
place
one.
where the rules are bent, the boundaries are blurred, and the mind is pushed to the end limits. If you thought the hard mode was intense, you haven't seen anything at all, my dear friend. Let's start, shall we? Buddhism. Once upon a time in the game of life, there was a player named Siddhartha Gautam. He was born into a wealthy family and all his abilities were maxed out. But as he leveled up and explored the world more, he realized that the whole game is rigged. No matter how many points he scored or how many enemies he defeated or how many treasures he acquired, the feeling of winning was always temporary. But the pain of losing again and again, that suffering Siddhartha realized was the only constant. Siddhartha, or as he would be later called the Buddha, had a revelation. The root of all suffering, he realized, was attachment. The desire to win, to conquer, to possess. These were the chains that bound players to the cycle of playing again and again and again, and thereby suffering again and again and again. The only way to break free from this was to let go of the game entirely.
Not play.
And so, the Buddha
Don't
quit
play.
the main quest. He abandoned his clan, his wealth, and his status and set out on a new path. Instead of competing for high scores and rare loot, he found happiness in the simple things of life. Chilling out in the scenery, driving a car around, all the peace stuff we know Buddhism for, right? Here is where it gets trippy. According to Buddhism, there is no Blair, there is no true self, there is no Atma, there is no soul. Instead, the whole game is a set of predefined scenarios like nodes in a cosmic network. Our identities, our memories, our sense of being, all of these are illusions, projections of the mind that are already predefined. So you see, Buddhism isn't just about finding inner peace, it's about confronting the void. That void that exists in the heart of existence. That void that exists everywhere. Jainism. Jainism takes a unique approach to the game of life. They believe that the simple act of existence causes violence. Every time we breathe, we walk, we talk, we eat, we kill millions of creatures.
Oh, wow.
This violence is ingrained in the game. This is what causes suffering. Jains, however, don't just quit in the face of suffering. They've got a strategy to deal with it. Giants see suffering as a way to level up your character. They believe that by facing challenges head on, you can delete your negative karma points and ultimately conquer the game. It's like when you're playing a tough level and you keep dying and dying, you still know that you are getting better with each attempt. In the world full of suffering, reducing that suffering must be the only logical thing to do. Maybe this is the reason why Giant players do so well in the business world. They are not afraid from working hard. And simultaneously, they don't get attached so much to their wealth. No wonder we have folks like this Gujarati couple who gave away 200 crores of their life earnings. So, in a game where suffering is built in, where being aggressive is not just accepted but also appreciated, the Giant strategy of embracing suffering is a hack of its own kind. Charvaks. The Charvaks.
I wanted to hear more, man. That was interesting.
Ultimate rebels of ancient India. These guys made the Jains look like hardcore devotees in comparison. Charvaks are all about that seeing is believing life. If they can't see it, they ain't buying it. So much so that instead of the Panchabhoot, fire, water, earth, wind and sky, they just believe in four. Because they're like, what even is sky? Can you touch it? Can you feel it? What even is it? The Charvaks are also master hedonists. They don't believe that life is full of suffering. In fact, they think life is full of enjoyment. So much so that a famous Charvak quote can actually be seen somewhere in a bar in Kanpur. Pitva pitva punah pitva yavat patati bhutale utthaya cha punah pitva punarjanma na vidyate. Drink, drink, again drink. Drink till you fall down. And after you get up, drink again. Because there's no next life, my bro. There's another one. Yavat jivet sukham jivet. Ranam krutva ghritam pibet. As long as you live, live happily. Drink ghee, even if you have to borrow money. That's a hardcore application of Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Charvaks, unsurprisingly, don't believe in karma, punarjanm, or any kind of afterlife. They think that life is all we got, and we have to make the best of it. They're like the players who don't care about their score or leaderboard rankings, they just want to enjoy the game while it lasts. And that's a segue to the ultimate realists of the game, the Ajivikas. Imagine playing a fun video game. You have played it for days, applying your brain, your mind, your energy. You are about to be the best player in this game. You feel like you have achieved something. And then, your eyes move towards the joystick you're holding. You see that its wire is hanging, disconnected from the game console. It turns out that the game has been in the autoplay mode all along. All that feeling like you are a player who is winning at this game was all an illusion. Welcome to the Ajivika view of the world. In this strategy, your choices don't matter. Your stats, your skills, your moral decisions, they are all predetermined by the game developer. The very moment the Big Bang happened, everything you have done, everything you're doing and will do was all predetermined. Some modern day thinkers like Elon Musk have suggested that we might be living in a simulation. But hey, if everything is decided, maybe there's a weird sense of comfort in that, isn't it? If all your victories, achievements, success was not caused by you, that also means that all this suffering, pain, and failure was also not because of you. There's no need to take blame on yourself. It's not like you have a choice, do you?
What? Next level? We're going up one tier?
Dear Seeker, congratulations. You have made it to the
Advanced modes transcend the game. Realize that you are the game itself. Hack into the dev console and become the game's creator. Oh wow. Tantra. Unlock the game's most esoteric cheat codes and exploits. Break the game wide open and reshape it to your liking. Okay. Same like Advaita. Yoga. Grind every skill tree and quest line to 100% completion. Uninstall the game. Having achieved gaming. Okay. Next level shit. Kashmir Shaivism. Recognize the entire game as Shiv's divine playground. Enable God mode and gleefully break the game in half.
Final part of our philosophical journey. The advanced mode. Here on we move into the domains that defies.
This is where Neo realizes that he is the Matrix.
Simple explanations. Concepts that are so vast and profound that entire libraries could hardly do them justice, let alone this video. Brace yourselves, dear seekers, for the ideas we are about to explore now will challenge your perceptions of reality, consciousness, and the very nature of existence itself. Let's start off with Advaita Vedanta. It won't be an overstatement to claim that Advaita Vedanta is probably the finest philosophy that has evolved from Hinduism. Everything converges here. Centuries and centuries of dhyan, research, logic, all merged into one fabric, Advaita Vedanta. Advaita is a realization that you, the player, are not separate from the game itself. You are the game. You are both the creator and the creation. You, my dear friend, are just the universe pretending to be whoever you are. Advaita Vedanta teaches us that the boundaries between the self and the non-self is just an illusion. In reality, there is only one player, one game, one consciousness, experiencing itself throughout infinite forms and scenarios. Birth and death, joy and sorrow, success and failure, all of these are just different levels in the great grand game. Advaita compels us to realize that the other player...
I think of it as we're all stardust. That's been the one thing that's been like, whenever I'm like feeling existential, this is what I tell myself to feel some kind of peace. That we're all stardust. Literally everything that you see, touch, hear, smell, feel, it's all stardust. Even the feelings you have is made up of stardust. When you feel sad, when you feel happy, when you feel horny, it's all stardust. It's very simplistic approach, but it helps makes sense of things that you cannot make sense of. So yeah.
Players are not somehow our competitors who might be competing for limited resources. Advaita tells us that they are all extensions of the same infinite creativity. The vibration that vibrates in me is also the vibration that vibrates in you. And you is me and me is you. This is the ultimate message of Advaita Vedanta. You are not a disconnected fragment, a lost lonely soul. You are literally the universe. You are blessed to be the form that the universe takes to express itself, to discover itself. By embracing this truth, you tap into a source of power and creativity that is unbounded. This is similar to what Kashmir Shaivism has to say. In many ways, Kashmir Shaivism is the sibling of Advaita and also adds a new dimension to it. While both schools agree that the ultimate reality is one, Kashmir Shaivism emphasizes that the Brahman, which it calls the Param Shiva, is not an inert observer. It is a dynamic creative force that lives and breathes within you. In Kashmir Shaivism, the universe is not an illusion to be overcome. It is real. It is real, unlike Maya. We are not expressions of one passive originator. We are literally the canvases, the playgrounds on which Shiva dances and manifests himself. According to Kashmir Shaivism, it is not about escaping the game, but realizing that we have the power to shape our experience within it. Kashmir Shaivism invites us to tap into this creative potential and not give in to nihilism. It challenges us to recognize the Param Shiva in us and break away all illusions and shape reality, not just be a slave to it. Tantra. Tantra is an ancient philosophical tradition, and believe it or not, it has been shaped by not just Hinduism, but also Buddhism, Jainism, and even Sikhism. At its core, Tantra emphasizes the divine feminine power, or Shakti. Tantric practitioners have their own set of mantras and rituals that are quite unlike any other kind of worship. Some believe that these practices, including the use of yantras, meaning sacred diagrams, and mantras or sacred sounds, can be used to mold reality itself. The idea is that by tapping into the fundamental energies of the universe, you can alter the fabric of existence. Certain tantric rituals also use unconventional or taboo substances, such as alcohol or even blood. These shocking methods are intended to break down the space between the sacred and the unsacred, allowing the practitioner to truly bypass the material world. While some may dismiss these practices as superstitions, Tantra players believe that they have deep spiritual significance. There is something so primal and instinctive in Tantra that we find versions of it everywhere, from the Aghoris in northern India to Vajrayana Buddhists in Tibet. Ultimately, Tantra is about embracing the full spectrum of human experience. Holy to unholy, light to dark, beautiful to grotesque. Tantra challenges individuals to confront their inner inhibitions and break through the mental and spiritual blockages. This path is not for the faint of heart. It requires a lot of courage and almost an ability to surgically operate on your psyche. However, for those who persist, Tantra is transformative and it can lead to a very deep understanding of the nature of reality. We now move on to the final strategy, yoga. People popularly believe yoga is all about physical exercises. Sure, it is a big part of it, but that's just a scratch in the surface. The yogic path is about constantly striving to become better and better version of yourself, seeking constant growth and expansion. The player begins by mastering the physical realm, practicing asanas to build strength, flexibility, and balance. This prepares your body and mind for the deeper levels of practice. As you progress, you learn to control your breath through pranayama, harnessing the power of the prana or the life force energy. This skill allows us to navigate the game's challenges with ease and grace. As a yogi, you then turn inwards.
Is that a real thing? Is that supposed to do something?
Using pratyahar to withdraw from all the distractions of the external world and focus solely on the inner landscape of your mind. And then, through dharana and dhyan, you develop laser-like concentration and the ability to meditate deeply. Along the way, you also collect powerful tools and upgrades, such as yam and niyam, which serve as ethical guidelines and personal observances. Ultimately, the goal of the yogic strategy is to achieve samadhi, a state of pure consciousness. The yogi then becomes the game master, transcending the illusions of the material world. In this sense, the end game of yoga is not about accumulating points or achieving external victories. Rather, it is about unlocking the infinite potential within oneself and realizing the true nature of reality. All these 16 strategies are not exclusive. You don't have to pick just one, and to be honest, there are a lot more than these 16 here. I just picked 16 so that they fit in this grid. The idea in Hinduism, the Indian way of life, is to mix and experiment different styles. Create your own custom package for yourself. Create a own personalized strategy for yourself. This country has always been about celebrating multiple ways, multiple perspectives. There's always multiple different strategies. If you're emotional, you'll probably be into bhakti. If you're logical, Nyaya would appeal to you. If you are having an algorithmic way of looking at the world, there is Samkhya. If you don't like putting yourself in a box, you can be a Charvak. If you like to read stories, there are the Puranas. If you want a more hands-on approach, there is yoga. Basically, there is something for everyone. And that is the true pluralistic inclusivity that I love about the Indian tradition. So guys, do comment in the comment section. What did you feel like? And what is your preferred path? And why do you prefer this preferred path? Do let me know in the comments. I'd like to thank PSI Boy, Gandev68.
Yeah, this is why I prefer Advaita, because it's the one that makes most sense to my brain, especially in times of like trouble. Usually I depend on logic, right? Usually I depend on logic and reasoning and the scientific method. And then when that has no answers, sometimes it doesn't have answers. That's when I fall to Advaita. Usually I'm a Charvak, I feel like. Most days I'm either a Jivika or Charvak. Because control is an illusion in my eyes. If you think you have control over your life or your things or your plans or anything, or Islam mein bhi ye baat boli jati hai na ki God is the best of planners and you can't. So it feels such different topics talking about this religion and that religion. Like there's such a big difference. So yeah, I think most of my normal mode is on Charvaka and Ajivika, and then when it comes to levels that I haven't played before, new levels jab unlock hote hain, I go the Advaita route because it's scary, right? New roads lead to scary stuff. Brilliant video hai, अच्छी video hai, and you can see he's all about the nuance. He's not कोई पत्थर की लकीर statements नहीं दे रहा है वो कि मैंने बोल दिया ना ऐसा है तो ऐसा ही है. It's not like that. He's giving you his observation, his learnings, he's interpreting them and presenting them to you. You know, I don't understand the hate he got for that tweet because it didn't deserve that much hate. I think there are so many engineers, they all take it personally and emotionally, and he explained how they operate. Literally put them on the beginning level. कि तुम सब ये हो bottom tier. बहुत आला. Great comeback, brilliant comeback. Gotta say, it was not that easy. He made it look so easy to explain all these in video game strategies. Brilliantly done. There you go. This is a great comment. Whoa, you created like a handbook for those who don't understand the complexity of Hinduism. I did not, and I still don't, and I don't claim to be able to do it anytime soon. This is why there are so many wrong numbers you will find, because they start claiming that bro, मैं भी इंसान हूँ. तेरी तरह मेरे पास भी brain है, and I know how hard it is to achieve that level of understanding. So when some Baba claims that he knows the answers, रोटी किसी ने टाइट बात की थी, रोटी सेक रहा आपने और कुछ नहीं. जो 16 strategies ने बताई हैं, they are such a high level view, बहुत ही zoomed out view है. Doesn't explain anything to you. You can't understand the detail of it. It's beyond, literally beyond. That's what God is, right? See, this is about intellectualism, and I'm always open to that. If something opens my brain to new things, not to just old scammy things like these babas that are out there. This is what you should be watching. This is where you should be looking for answers within yourself, not outwards, like Osho said. I agree with it. seek answers within first, and when you run out of them, then start looking outwards. So brilliant video यार, मजा आ गया bro. क्या video बना दी यार. Ashris, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up. Great video यार, amazing.